gonna sit here and say he's the greatest of all time, which is what a lot of people want to anoint him now if he wins a second championship. I don't know about all of that, but I haven't seen anybody like him. Who could cut up a defense the way he does, read those defenses and call those plays right at the line of scrimmage and just get his team in the best position to win. You saw what he did with the Jets, who were the best defense in the league this year. Sooner or later, he figures you out, and once he does, you're toast. So that's the way I see it going down. If you think differently, get at me, Vik at BigVicPresents.com. That's Vik with a K, as always. And that's the main thing going on. Obviously, we've got Valentine's Day coming up, so all you fellas out there, get your shorty something special. Don't forget, whatever you do, don't forget that day. Come with the flowers, come with the candy, nice dinner. Most of you rookies out there probably still trying to figure out how you can take her to a nice dinner or something like that. You better get booked early, partner, because let me tell you, I speak from experience, man. It happens quick. It fills up. You might be without a place to take your little lady for dinner on Valentine's Day. You'd be nutted up, feeling like a fool. I'm telling you right now, get it done, get it taken care of. I normally handle this business pretty early myself. Like I said, I'm a veteran in the game. It's not about just dinner or whatever. I like to try to get a little escape over the weekend. Take Dub somewhere special, man, where we can just chill for a day or two. But it looks like that's not going to happen for me this year because Valentine's Day happens to fall on the first day of the Chinese New Year. So, that's something else, another part of the family. Got to respect that. Preparations, getting all prepared for that event, and a lot of things to do. Obviously, it's all about teaching the little ones, making sure my little guys have their understand that part of their heritage as well. So I'll be caught up with that. Valentine's Day might not be as big of a deal this year as it usually is, but that's me. Unless you got something like that going on, I'm trying to tell you, you better handle your business. All right. So that's that, and I'm actually gonna get out pretty short this time because, like I said, I'm pretty laid back. The week is winding down. I'm ready to wind down, ready to watch this big game over the weekend. So with that, I'm gonna check out my email for this week. It comes from Sherry in Redwood City. Vik, last week we saw the President's State of the Union address, and it is the first one since he took office. How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about the job President Obama has done to this point? Thanks, Sherry, for the email. And, I think I've touched on this on more than one occasion. And, on a serious note, President Obama's got a lot on his plate. I think we all know that. And I think it's been a pretty turbulent year for the man. I think he started off riding pretty high, and by the end of the year, his poll ratings and everything have really just kind of taken a beating. He, along with the rest of the Democrats, and there's a lot of different reasons for that. But I would say for his performance thus far, about what I would have expected. Again, I think that a lot of people take for granted how difficult it is to move things along in Washington, particularly when you have an agenda that is, number one, extreme, trying to get a lot done in a short amount of time, trying to make a lot of change that people aren't used to, and on top of that, people aren't used to looking at and answering to a man of color. And I think that the Republicans have made it clear that they are out to stop anything that he and the Democrats are trying to push past, and never mind whether that's a political party thing or a race thing. I think I've talked about that before. My feelings on that. I'm sure there are a good handful or more of Republicans who are out to stop this man just because of the color of his skin. But let's put that aside for a moment because that's just a fact of life, is what he's got to deal with. The reality is, I would say that I'm a little, if anything, any category that I've been disappointed with the president in to this point, and it really is, I would say, just this one particular category. I mean, everything else I've kind of expected. The healthcare thing, that's going to take a little while. I don't know why anyone had an idea that this was just going to be something that could get through in a snap. It's been so long in coming, and it's just, again, things move slowly in Washington, and one man is not just going to step into the office and change that. Now, again, if there's one category that I would say I would really criticize, and it was something that I think most people, anyone who had any sense, even I who voted for Obama, one of my concerns was the experience level, and I've talked about that before. I think we've seen how, a lack of experience of a position at such a high level has kind of come back to bite him a little bit. I think maybe he had was a little disillusioned about what he could get accomplished in such a short period of time, and is finding out that it just doesn't happen like that. And in terms of trying to get the monies that he wants, and he stumbled in the beginning, first week or two of taking office, trying to get some funds that he wanted, and getting slapped back a little bit by Congress saying, "Hey, you don't just pull the trigger like that." So I think he learned from some of that, and again, the one thing I would say that I was the most disappointed in really is just the fact that in everything that he's been able to accomplish, I mean, I think he's done okay as far as Iraq and trying to get the soldiers out of there in a relatively understandable time frame. I think the issues with the economy and with the jobs, obviously, that's a big focus. And again, it's just going to take a little while to turn around. But what I've been disappointed in is a lack of bringing folks together. I understand that the Republicans are fighting against him, but I haven't seen a real show of he and his administration's willingness to sit down at the table with the Republicans. And I think sometimes if you extend that, that olive branch, so to speak, you will find a little more cooperation than maybe you had before. And I think what people want to see, I know what I want to see, is forget about the Democrats and the Republicans. We're all in this together, and I think everybody's hurting. Obviously some more than others. A rich person's version of hurting is not the same as a poor person's version of hurting, but everybody's hurting, and I think it's better to just bring everybody to the table and try to work things out instead of stonewalling and saying, "Hey, we got all the votes, and you guys don't have enough to stop us, so here we go." And I think that with the recent events in Massachusetts, and the tables kind of turning in the Senate, or in the House of Representatives, where we're finding now that that the Democrats don't have all the power like that, we probably will see a little bit more of that little humble pie eaten by the Democrats, and saying, okay, we're going to have to sit at the table with the Republicans and just kind of make some compromises, which I think is the best thing for the country. And Obama ran on a platform of bringing the parties together, and I just haven't really seen that. And some of that has been, I think, inevitable and kind of unavoidable because of the way the Republicans have behaved, but at the same time, I think some of that he could drive a little better. Other than that, like I said, about what I would expect, to this point, this man's story will not be told until the end of his presidency, is when they'll be able to look back and say, okay, just what type of president was this man? Was he really fit for the job, and did he do a good job? So time will tell that tale. I've said that before. Anyway, I'm on my way out. Before I go, this week's epic fail is DirecTV. DirecTV, my DVR blew out, just died on me a few days before the Super Bowl. They got another one on the way to me, but it's not going to get here until after the Super Bowl. Thank God I have more than one television and more than one DirecTV box. But I got rid of Comcast because they were giving me problems, and now this is the second box that has died on me within 3 months. DirecTV, you are this week's epic fail. Can't believe it. No DVR for the Super Bowl. That's my main DVR. Like I said, I got some backups, and I'm okay, but that is really, really disappointing. So anyway, on a lighter note, I'm out this week to the sounds of Solange Knowles, Beyonce's little baby sister, and Tony. Tony, which I was happy to find out stands for the other night. Oh, why? Yeah, it's a kind of deep song if you really listen to it. I know you guys have probably been up on it for a little while. You know me, I either get you some brand new, spanking new stuff that you never heard, or I dig back a little bit. It doesn't matter. I just happen to be feeling it this week. Can't say that I'm feeling Solange that much. Don't even really listen to Beyonce all that much. You know, before you start saying, am I crazy? You know, I don't listen to Beyonce, but I watch Beyonce. You know, when the beat drop, dip to make the booty roll. But anyway, yeah, I don't know where that came from. So Solange, you know, I don't think she has the strongest vocals in the world. I know her album didn't do all that well, and I can't pretend like I listened to it. But I happened to hear this song, which that's how I discover a lot of music these days. It seems like I was working down the gym, heard the song, said, who sings that? And turns out it was Solange. I didn't know she had a little jam like that on there. So Solange, Tony, the other night. And guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you next time. We'll talk about how things go with the Super Bowl, enjoy the game, and I'll be at you. Peace.
Tony don't speak no more. It's almost been a week, oh no. My